I would think it's very positive for the two countries. As Blinken emphasized, the U.S. side want to have open lines of communication. Now, at least both sides have better communications. Then, also based on results released by two sides, they are happy about the progress made so far.
Yeah. Have there, though, been any real shifts at this point on some of their very fixed positions that have led to these difficulties?
I would say that the biggest difficulty between China and the United States now is Taiwan issue. So they have a huge gap in understanding Taiwan issue. China side always think U.S. side step in and also do too much to help Taiwan. But the U.S. side always argue that they don't support Taiwan independence. But in the meantime, they would like to help Taiwan to have some capacity to fight, just in case mainland China invade Taiwan. But I guess this part is very, very difficult to negotiate. The gap is huge, particularly perception gap is huge.
Yes, and more than that, China has made it very clear that it will not rest until Taiwan is back in the fold, so to speak.
Yes, China side treat Taiwan as a hardcore issue, so they will not have any compromise on this issue. So before Blinken visited Beijing, Qinggang already called Blinken and emphasized this point very, very firmly.
Blinken also was hoping to re-establish military-to-military ties. There used to be a hotline that apparently China doesn't answer any longer, but that had been a really important connection to prevent any military mishaps, and we've seen a couple of near misses. How much of a failure was that, or do you think that is still a possibility down the track?
I would say that this part is really difficult. Blinken emphasized during his press conference, it's very difficult to move forward. But I would say that we cannot actually say that now they close the communication. In the past, it was not smooth as well. It was not actually saying that the U.S.-China always can call each other, particularly on military cooperation. I would say that this is too optimistic. It was very difficult in the past, but now even more difficult. So basically, military to military channel communications has not been open, particularly under Xi Jinping. So I would say that this part will actually lead to some risk. For example, some clash between between two countries. Then if it happens in Taiwan Strait, it will actually cause some big trouble, particularly at the very beginning. But I don't know whether both countries' leaders would like to solve the outlet. But anyway, it will have some sort of small scale of conflicts in the future.
Yeah, and that, as you point out, it remains a risk. There are also, of course, concerns, and we're seeing this with so many American businessmen, people going to China. There are concerns that this strained relationship is damaging business opportunities. How much of a problem is that, do you think?
I would say that China still is a big market. So I guess many countries, business people always want to invest in China. They even want to actually do something for China's market. But in the meantime, you could see that both countries' relationships are not good. In the meantime, China side also is involved a lot in so-called data espionage. Particularly recently, a number of employees by American companies were arrested. I guess these actually really do damage to both countries' relations and also the confidence in investing in China by Americans. I hope the visit by Blinken to China will at least mitigate the worrisome situation between two sides, particularly with regard to economic cooperation.
Yeah, and as you point out, it seems as if it's always going to be a risk for foreign business people to operate in China.
Yes, but you could see that because China's market is big and also China's population is relatively young, then so many people want to invest in China and also do business in China. Although the risk is there, but many people still go there. I would say that maybe in the future, China side need to do more to assure outsider that China is a kind of reliable market. In the meantime, they can do business safely.
And of course, you know, China is not rebounding out of the COVID pandemic economically as well as it might have hoped. Is this a risk for Xi Jinping if he doesn't encourage business and put those safeguards in place?
I would say that many people at the very beginning were too optimistic about rebounds of China's economy out of COVID. COVID-19 not only damaged economy, but also damaged a lot of things. For example, China's lockdown make a lot of people's mental state very weak. So people tend to be very conservative. They don't want to consume. So that's the reason why China's economic situation is not good. And also furthermore, China's local government also are lacking money. They spend too much money on PCR testing. I mean, they spend too much money on wrong part of the stories, particularly like, they should not actually spend that part of money. But now local government actually are lacking money. They don't know how to do with that. I would say maybe in the coming 1 or 2 years, China also need to really be thinking carefully how to boost its economy and also make the economy go back to the right track.
Yeah, it must be regionally a bit of a relief for countries around China, particularly in the South China Sea, to see at least this dialogue now between the US and China has started.
Yes, at least we could see some hope. We can hope for the best.
Alfred, good to have you on. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.